Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Godsoe, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 3 of Season 13 of the VOR Signature Series, the IndyCar Championship. And today we come to you from the oldest continually operated racetrack in the world for auto racing. It is the Milwaukee Mile here on the grounds of the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds for the Milwaukee 250 by LOVERN'S, Inc. Joining me in the booth, we have quite the big field today. Klendy, we're here again from yesterday's race when we had the Iconic Series, and that was pretty entertaining, but my understanding is going into this one's going to be possibly even more entertaining.
Yeah, I've had on good authority that with age comes maturity. This setup apparently has adapted in this IR18 to use more lines, and some things just get better with age. Just like this old racetrack, you're going to see some of the more experienced drivers in the field work their way to the front. However, Jesper Orman will not be doing so from the back like he did yesterday, provisionally on the pole. The man from Sweden has the top spot for now.
Yeah, I bet you 2 races in a row of worst to first are not necessarily what he wants to be doing today. There are your current conditions. It's going to be pretty good for track conditions out there. 68 degrees ambient and 83 degrees track temperature. Let's see, get some people out there who are qualifying. There is Nick Pollard underway as he is putting in his lap. But you're right, currently provisionally on the pole with about 90 seconds left to play is Jesper Orman. Right behind him is his main rival in this championship, Julian Altina. Stout, Van Gastel, and O'Sullivan, your top 5. Let's get into the point situation real quick. And we'll bring those up. There they are. Julian is your points leader over Salvazzi, who is he in today's lineup or not? Yes, he is. Salvazzi is here. Craig Forsyth is not in the lineup. So that's going to open up an opportunity for Aiden Millward, the road racer, coming to us over from the other side of the pond. He has been adapting his oval style here a lot lately, and he could possibly, with a good race, get up to 3rd place in the points. Luis Nunez in 5th, Liam O'Sullivan 6th, Christensen 7th, Alexander, Inch, and Orman. Alexander not with us today. He is going to lose ground a little bit in 8th, but the Inch, Orman, and Tessera look to capitalize that. I do not think Bennyworth is in today's lineup with we got 20 now seconds left to play, but that is your points coming into the Milwaukee round of the IndyCar Championship.
Yeah, Craig Forsyth on vacation the same week as Mark Murphy. Bodes well for my championship hopes in the ISRA series, which will be at Motegi Monday night.
That should make things a little bit easier
for you.
I wonder
if they're on the same cruise.
I don't know. They could. Maybe they're both watching down in the Bahamas right now. Well,
toes in the sand, got a drink in the hand. What a way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot better than it is here. Although here in Indianapolis, so we do have sunny skies, but it is 37 degrees Fahrenheit in my local neighborhood here. But let's get in today's starting lineup here from the mile at the State Fairgrounds in Wisconsin. And Orman on the pole with a 166.9, almost to that 167 bracket. Next to him, Julian, 166.5, Stout, 166.4. Pim Van Gastel, good qualification effort for him on the outside of row 2. O'Sullivan and Tessera on row 3. Brewer and Lovern in row 4, and Salvazzi and Millward in row 5. Watch that row 5. That's going to be they're going to be moving from there for sure. Watch the cars getting ready to roll out. Not everyone is loaded in yet. Moving on back to row 6, it is Sigers and Nunez. So watch that row. Seger was fast in practice. Nunez former Pro Series driver, had that pro license for a while. He'll be moving up there on the outside of row 6. Strauss and Soledge back in row 7. Didn't they have a little bit of a run-in? No, that was not Strauss. But one of Strauss' teammates had a run-in with What's that?
Correct.
Yeah, that was
Kinder.
Yeah, that's right. But that was one of Strauss's teammates. So that's going to be interesting on row 7. Gretchen Inch on row 8. Whitaker and Mitchum on row 9. Gallas and Bree on row 10. Tim Bree has been pretty good, paced himself very well on the last couple of circuits. So we will see if he can move up from that 20th spot. Christensen and Santos on row 11. Coker and Molina on row 12. Pollard and Walker back on row 13. And Alexander Bonney is going to bring up shotgun of the field for row 14. 27 cars here on a 1 mile oval. It's going to get crowded really fast. A challenging 1 mile oval.
I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait for there to be cars in every corner, every lap. I think having to navigate traffic is one of the most beautiful things about the iRacing service. And when you and the cars in front of you are all trying to fight for position, and some of them might not have the fortune of being on the lead lap, it just makes everything a little more interesting.
So yesterday, 175 laps, 175 miles in the DW12. Today, a much longer race, 250 miles, 250 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile. So long, challenging race ahead of these drivers coming to the green flag this time by underway, and our defending series champion goes right to the point.
What a great start from these competitors. The Milwaukee front stretch doesn't let you start until well down the front stretch. It often leads to people trying to jump or get an unfair advantage, which causes an accordion. Really well done from the field there.
Whoa, Strauss way up in the gray. Orman purple lap that time by.
I think you might see a few of those back-to-back here from Jesper. He's setting sail.
Battle here between Nunez and Millward. Millward gaining a spot there. Looking to the inside is Jaco Seegers. Excuse me. And he is making his first start here in the series. Meanwhile, up front, big battle here with Brewer, Teixeira, and Salvazzi, and Gary Lovern involved here.
Lovern had a great day yesterday in the Iconic Series.
Very well.
Came home in the top 5. Well poised for a podium until late in the running when I think his tires just gave out on him.
Teixeira still on the outside of Salvazzi. Gets the pass. Looking to the inside, Lovern into 3. He's trying to get that pass, but the high line. We've been told multiple lines you can work with these cars in these corners, and we're seeing it. At least 3 lines for the first couple of laps. We heard that there's more involved there if we get more cars involved.
Lovern's doing a great job working the bottom right now.
Brewer on the low side underneath Pim. Move Brewer up to 5th. Now your top 5 is Orman, Altena, Stout, O'Sullivan, and Brewer. That is your top 5. All right, now this
top 5 is an Altena Autosport sandwich.
Yeah,
with Orman
it
and
is.
Brewer being the bread.
Here's Orman.
Nunez not happy with Jaco Seeger.
Let's go back and take a look at that.
A little bit of contact there in 3 and 4.
Oof. Salvazzi now taking a peek to the inside to Sarah. Clipping that curb just a little bit. Helped the car to rotate, and he pulls the pass off. Again, running out of room really quickly on corner exit here for these cars. drivers were emphasized again in the drivers' meeting about the blue flag rule here in the league. Also, what parts of the racetrack they can use and not use for the race.
Yeah, Jesper got a bit of a warning yesterday for putting all 4 tires beneath the curbing in turns 1 and 2, where there's normally a pit lane exit lane that is illegal for the drivers to use on green conditions unless they are exiting pit road.
And yesterday, exiting pit road was a little tough for some drivers as well, and Julian was a victim of that.
I think it's so awesome how you can see cars take different lines and carry radically different amounts of speed through the corner. Nunez, Seegers, Strauss, and Solo Edge are all doing something different here back at the tail end of the top 10. You can kind of just see them all fan out and then dart to wherever they want to be in the corner. It's really beautiful to watch.
Christensen and Santos also in the battle is Inch. This is for 17th, further on back.
Oh, look at him. Oh, almost 3 wide there for a moment. Santos really dived through the center of the corner there, had a lot of trust in his competitors. Worked out for him.
Molina, Santos, Inch, Mitchum, all in that group right there. Silvazzi and Lovern side by side off 3 and 4, and Silvazzi just slides up in front of Lovern.
Looking to back up his second place run from yesterday.
Yeah, he is up 2 spots. Your biggest gainer of the day, there's a couple guys a little bit further in the back. Christensen up 4, Santos up 4, Molina up 5. Your top 3 right where they started, 1, 2, 3, and currently our first, second, and third. And pulling away by 2.8 seconds is Orman. So we're just how we left yesterday is how we are beginning today. Orman, your leader. Lap 17 of 250. This is going to be a long one, folks. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoy the VOR IndyCar Championship, do us a big solid. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're about 10 people away from hitting the big 500 subscriber mark for Julian and the Velocity Online Racing channel. So if you have not done so already, turn that red button gray and subscribe to the channel. Like the video. And then also ring the bell, and you'll be notified the next time we go live for our next race, which is next week with the Iconic Series heading to Iowa on Friday.
We've got a Yako fan in the chat from Team Euro Proton.
There
Making
is
his
Yako.
First start, and he brought a fan along. That's
awesome.
How you do it.
Yep. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Yako now up to 13th. As he separates himself from this battle of Whitaker and Solwich. Trying to run down that battle ahead of him with Strauss and Nunez. Strauss all over Nunez's attenuator there going in the 1 and 2. He fans out high. Now he tucks back in. Three different lines right there. You see on the bottom was, we got Millward on the bottom, we had Nunez in the middle, we had Strauss up top. Now this time Strauss underneath Nunez. Whoa, that was close. Wheel-to-wheel action here. You always got to be cognizant of netcode, especially with the drivers outside of the Eurozone. This is where the race is being hosted. It's being hosted in Europe. Here's Nunez to the
Millward's
inside.
Under attack.
Yeah, he is. He tries to
That's what I'm talking about. Look at how much more momentum Millward got off the center of the corner just from taking a different line. It's so awesome to see these cars carry so much different amounts of speed through these corners. It's like, I'll be fast on middle, I'll be fast on entry, but I can't be fast on exit.
Oh, contact!
And you have somebody who's fast on... Oh, no, trouble!
Strauss
and Millward, both done for the day. And that's exactly the product of those cars carrying different amounts of speed and having different agendas in the corner.
Yeah, both wanted to go to the high side, and actually, you can clearly see. Let's go back a little bit more. You can see how this gets set up going into one. As you see Strauss, he's going to get a big run on Millward, who comes up, and Millward wants to go into one high as well. Strauss wants to go high, and when they both find out they're both going high, Strauss has such a run that he is in the back end of Millward, and that's where the contact occurs right there. You see that? He's just got to run. Oh, crap, he's going high with me. And the closing rate of these cars, again, show that even the mere humans behind the wheel just don't have the time to slow down before contact is made.
Yeah, and a lot of that's due to drivers like to make a game plan going into each corner, right? So I'm pretty sure that Strauss going into that corner was thinking, I'm going to commit to the high side. I'm going to get around him on entry by carrying more speed. And Millward said, I'm going to back up the entry and be fast on exit, right?
Right.
And those two agendas just collided because one committed and the other one, I mean, they both committed, right? But by the time you make that commitment, you do not have time to bail. And in this car, if you turn right, you're in the wall. And if you hit the brakes, you're in the wall. And you just have to hope the guy in front of you goes a little bit faster and maybe you don't make contact. Pit road, very lonely. None of the leaders coming in.
Yeah, none of the leaders. The only ones that come in is we have Tessera. Gretsch are the only two that decided to come in here on 25. So they are going off schedule, off script.
And if the drivers today can make 75 laps, I don't think they're going to have to worry about fuel today. I think 70 is pretty easy. 75 is a tiny save. With this caution, it shouldn't be a save at all. But you basically get to go 75 to 150, and then 150 to 225, and then that'll bring you home. And you can cut up that second stint however you'd like. If you can somehow get 83 to 84 laps, you can maybe look at doing this just in two green flag stops. I don't know if that's going to be reasonable for anyone, though. Here they come to the green flag.
Green flag in the air. Here we go. We're back racing underway here at lap 26, now 27 of 250. Christensen on the inside of Santos going into 3. Everybody quickly single file again. The two guys that stopped. Gretsch got around to Sarah. Orman now busting out to 0.6 of a second lead and the purple lap that time by 163.2. Turning laps in the 22-second bracket.
Two down for just a second. They're just as fast as the beginning of the race.
Two different lines for first and second place. See Julian going high, Jesper going low. He starts high, then cuts down to the apex low, and then exits high. Julian stays high pretty much all the way around. We'll watch his lap a little bit more here. Yeah, he is kind of riding in that third and second lane all the way around turns 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, right where you see the rubber get put down on the pavement is about as high as Julian's going right now.
And another purple lap for Jesper Orman, 166.5.
Yeah, in my experience, you can't beat the high in, low middle, high off line. That is just the optimal line for racing speed. However, when there's traffic, that line gets very congested. So I think Julian didn't really want to see that first caution despite being several seconds behind Jesper, because he was about to catch lap traffic and that would have impeded his progress significantly.
Whitaker and Caustic Solage off of 2 side by side. Whitaker still holds on the position over Caustic. Caustic had an early out in yesterday's iconic race, looking to redeem himself. Caustic up to 12th. He's up 2 spots. Braden Whitaker up 6 spots for the rookie. Hugo Gall is on the inside of Gretsch. I think Gretsch actually just passed him on the outside with the fresher tires and moves right around him. Slides right in front of him, but he gets the position. Meanwhile, up front, Pim Van Gastel and a side-by-side battle with Luis Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez was much better on exit the past few laps, but decided to attack on entry that last corner, and now he's fallen back into the clutches of Jaco Seeger.
Just to show you how difficult this track is, Luis Nunez, he held a Pro Series license. He was one of the participants in the in that butt kicker IndyCar Pro Series, and he is right now struggling to keep pace a little bit in 8th. But again, we're still early, only lap 36 of 250. Going to take a look to the inside of Pim, try to get the shot here in 1 and 2.
I think Lewis needs to just realize what works for him. He's been very fast on exit, and he needs to prioritize trying to pass on exit rather than on entry. Anytime he tries to enter shallow and get under someone else, the car just doesn't seem to agree with his driving style. You see these huge runs he builds on exit on Pim, and he just can't put them together because anytime he gets side by side, he commits to the bottom. And Pim does nothing wrong. He's driving a perfectly fine line. It just kills all of the momentum from Nunez.
And we're riding with the new driver in today's lineup, Jaco Seeger. And we are now on the front stretch behind this battle for Pim and Luis Nunez. This is a battle for 8th. Jaco sends it to the inside of Nunez, gets to the rear wheel, can't pull it off. Now floats out back behind him in the draft down the backstretch into 3. Look at his 2 different lines right in front of him. He's getting that dirty air, and I'm saying Jaco is getting the dirty air from Pim. This is all dirty air that's in the wake of these cars, so it's impacting how Jaco gets around that corner as fast. In fact, he's losing a little bit of ground now.
And all of these drivers are losing ground to Gary Lovern up ahead in 7th. He's about 1.5 seconds ahead of them. Or 2 seconds now.
Jaco gets to the side pod of Lewis, but can't get the pass completed. We see Jaco going down the 4th gear in this battle. So these drivers are extremely busy. This is not just turning the wheel and going left. They are changing gears, they are changing roll bars, they are changing the weight jacker. Every single lap, there's some change in these cars being made.
You check every lap, Gary?
Fuel.
You check the mirror and fuel, but do you ever have that coworker who always seems to kind of hang around and they maybe linger at your desk for too long?
Yes.
I think Liam O'Sullivan might be feeling that way about Patrick Silvazzi. He pounded him all day yesterday in the Iconic Series, and Silvazzi started 9th today, and he's up to 5th, right behind O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan checks his mirror and goes, "Oh, that guy again? Where did he come from?"
Well, and then actually, and to continue on with that joke, Liam probably then looks down at his fuel because yesterday that battle resulted in Liam running out of fuel, coming to the checkered flag in turns 3 and 4.
Drivers have to push every lap to get everything they can out of these cars, and if you come up just a few drops short, you go from 2nd to the last car in the lead lap.
Whoa! Gretsch had a moment coming off the corner and almost had Nick Pollard in his rear attenuator. Also taking evasive action, Hugo Gilles. So this whole group trying to, Gretsch in the wall. And this is why, look who's right behind him. That's the leader right there.
It's Jesper.
So here we see now the blue flag rules will start to come into effect here. Jesper does not want to see Inch and Gretsch side by side in front of him, and that's exactly what he's getting right now. Inch to the inside, he's going to let the leader go, but Gretsch isn't ready to give up that lap.
Now, the blue flag rule in this series is that once the leader laps you, you cannot fight subsequent lead lap cars. So, Ench here is expected to get out of the way as quickly and efficiently as possible of Altena and every other driver on the lead lap still. Shrunk the gap to Orman down to less than a second.
It sure did.
Now Orman has another set of lapped cars, or soon to be lapped cars, racing 2 and 3 abreast through the corner here. See, works by Nick Pollard.
Pollard, Teixeira, and
In front of
Mitchum.
him is Marcos Teixeira and Mason Mitchum. Correct. I was a little slow there, Gary. Sorry.
That's all right. Now into the inside of Teixeira. Teixeira struggling on the oval today. He is down 15 spots in 21st, but remember, he did come to pit road earlier than everybody, so he's on a slightly different strategy. Now Teixeira and Pollard. That's a battle for position as this Pollard's going to try to capitalize. Well, Pollard going in the inside there. I think he's letting Julian go. Going to battle right behind him, Stout.
Abiding by the blue flag rule.
O'Sullivan splits the middle. Move him past the lap traffic. Now Savazzi's going to take a hack at it. And I think the Savazzi of old would have just stormed right through. The Savazzi of new is being a little bit more calculated, thinking long game, as we're only 52 of 250 into this thing. Now 53 of 250, so still a long way to go. Show and utilize that patience, get the car to that final stint, then run it out. So Savazzi being patient in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, up front, even though it was under a second for a little bit, Orman now stretches it out to 1.6 seconds now.
I really feel that with the clean air and the pace that Jesper's shown, the only way Altena and his teammates have a chance at Jesper is either through pit strategy or Jesper gets hung up fighting lead lap cars, trying to stay at the tail end of the lead lap. There are 3 more in front of him. Gilles, Walker, and Coker.
And my broadcast pal from the Watkins Glen race that we had in the previous round of the championship. That's Ryan Walker. He's currently in 18th spot as the leaders are starting to come up on them. There they are.
And they've had pretty good pace. You know, they're not quite as slow as that first group of cars that were to be caught. Obviously, they don't have the pace of the leaders, but you know, every kind of group of the field, if you've got 2 or 3 other guys around you, it keeps the race interesting all day long.
There's about a 2-second gap there before Jesper reaches those 2. We'll go back to Jesper here. The rule set for today, there are 6 changes of tires that they can do. They actually bring 7 to the racetrack, 1 to start the race on, then 6 in the pits. So there should be plenty of tires to go around. No fuel limits, 100% fuel, 100% power. This is a 1 mile paperclip shaped oval, flat oval. Back turn 3 at Pocono is modeled after the turns here at Milwaukee. 250 laps. And the races will be just over 250 miles. This is a 1.015 mile oval, depending on where you measure that line. So we'll be going just a tad over 250, but for the sake of rounding and making everything nice and even, we're going 250 laps, 250 miles. Pit road speed limit is 45 miles an hour.
Imagine if you could go 250 at the Milwaukee Mile.
Oof.
We're about 70 miles an hour away from that. But
now watching our leader get into lap traffic. For the longest time, Milwaukee was the next race on the schedule after the Indy 500. 10 drivers managed to back up their Indy 500 win with a win here at Milwaukee, the last being Juan Pablo Montoya in 2000. Driving 2 different types of cars. One weekend was driving in Indianapolis in the IRL car. Next weekend, a kart for the first win for Toyota and the Toyota engine. The back-to-back 500 and Milwaukee winners are Bill Holland, Pat Flattery, Foyt, Big Al Rutherford, John Cock, Mears, Little Al. They also did the feat as well. Little Al did it in 94, where he drove the Beast. I guess you could say Little Al did do it in 2 different cars. He drove the Beast one weekend, and then drove his regular kart car the next weekend.
both beasts in their own right.
Contact off the wall off of turn 2, and that is Jaco Seegers. We are caution as he had a big hit to the inside off of 2. Wow.
Oh,
what
goodness.
happened?
I think Dan Ench did not go all the way to the wall on exit, and Jaco expected him to. There's probably 7/8 of a car width higher that Dan Ench could go, and Jaco expected him to use all of the track. I think Dan either was loose or didn't know if Jaco was that close. One thing led to another, and they both ran out of real estate really quickly.
Watch this here. And we're going to see all the leaders come to pit road. Yeah, he did not go. And then a little bit of a side check and into the inside wall. Day done for Jaco at his first start here in the series. Fortunately, it's going to end very early at lap 64.
Poor Shane Coker just got put a lap down from Jesper Orman.
Oh,
he may choose to take the wave around here, because he'll still have 16 to 20 laps of fuel.
Go for a quick caution. But watching the leaders come down pit road now. Orman, Altena, Stout, O'Sullivan, Salvazzi, your top 5. Brewer worked his way up to 6th. Lovern 7th.
Actually, Gary, there is a wave around a rule, and it's the actual IndyCar wave around rule. So Coker will get to wave and pit.
Well, he could not come. Oh, you're right. He will get the wave around if he stays out, and he can come around and pit if he doesn't get caught by everybody coming back to green. But since he was a lap down, he could not come in this time. That's why him and Gilles say that. Yeah, he's going to come in now. There he is. Unfortunately, the one that's not going to capitalize that is Gilles. Gilles can pit this time by. I think he will. This will be Gilles, Teixeira, Gretsch, Inch. Who else is going to come to pit road? Gilles and Mitchum? No, Mitchum stays out. All right, waiting, just seeing what's going to happen here with timing and scoring to sort things out here. And I think we are sorted out. So nothing really changes in the top 5. It is Orman, Altena, Stout, O'Sullivan, and Salvazzi, your top 5. Brewer 6th, Lovern 7th, Nunez 8th, Pim Van Gastel in 9th, and Kostik Solveig, who is having a much better race than he did yesterday, he's in 10th. And we are already coming to green. Look at the marbles flying up, Clindy. A lot of marbles already up in the high line.
Yeah, I think Julian starts the track with 20% usage, and all these cars, 27 of them, have only added to it. A little bit of a check up here. Let's make sure everyone gets through this restart cleanly. A couple bigger gaps back in the field, but no contact. Good job
Lovern
from the
and
drivers being
Brewer
patient
side
there.
by side off the corner. Brewer throws a little defensive
Brewer,
move to
love
the
to see that
inside.
yellow. He had a
Who's that?
busted up front wing prior to the stops. Brewer had a busted front wing prior to the stops, so that was a well-needed reprieve for him. The three Altena cars are getting racy for second, third, and fourth. O'Sullivan looking to the outside of Stout, who's looking to the inside of Altena.
Whoa, 3 wide off the corner. Whitaker, Christensen, Santos. Molina also in that battle. Tim Bree sneaking into that battle. Whitaker's leading that battle. He's at 11th. Santos side by side with Christensen. Christensen, a victim yesterday of a bit of a botched restart. He has now worked his way up to 12th. He's up 9 spots. Santos up 9 spots. Molina up 10 spots. So these are your biggest gainers of the day right here in the mid-pack. Santos to the inside of Christensen. Right behind them is Molina, actually Bree, Nick Pollard, Hugo Gilles. Gilles and Pollard, this is a battle for position of 1 lap down cars.
And if there is another yellow, I believe the first of those cars get waved around, regardless of their position relative to the leader. So that battle matters a lot.
Jesper around Ryan Walker, who is now another lap down and running the high side. Maybe has some damage that we don't know about. But yielding to the leaders. Carl to the inside. Now Liam on by. Next up, Patrick Salvazzi.
Car looks mechanically okay, but there might be something messed up with one of his tires' toe. So the degrees of camber of the suspension are out of alignment, but nothing obvious to the naked eye. Still will be under fire here from Kostek Solowich. Just a moment. These two have been together for the past few laps. Solowich doing a really good job on corner exit.
Now Orman already out now to a 2.2 second lead. He is so much faster than everyone here today. He has led every single lap. Got a little close off a corner exit there. He's got the purple lap so far.
I think the Brew Crew might want to send. The Brew Crew might want to send Orman a letter. Say, hey, we want to scout you to be on the Brewers because it looks like you're good at hitting grand slams.
Oh, right now he's on the way. He's got the purple lap. Of course, he won the pole. And if he leads every single lap and gets the win and holds on to that purple lap, he will get the Grand Slam. And the Grand Slam, more often than not, you see it on a road course. It's not easy to get on a road course, for that matter. But you see it more often than not on a road course. But when you see it on an oval, that is a pretty dominant day.
Yeah, it's next level butt whooping. is what I like to call it.
I almost did it in an official race on iRacing one time. I almost did it. The only reason that I didn't get the purple lap is that I was leading all the time and never had anyone to draft off of. On an oval. It was on an oval.
I don't think I've not yet done it in top split, but someday.
Soul Edge and Gastel and Pim Van Gastel, excuse me, in a battle for 10th, 9th and 10th. Also rolling in is Braden Whitaker in that blue and white car just behind them.
Yeah, boys. Keep fighting. It gets me closer and closer.
If you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Championship coming to you from the Milwaukee Mile. We're currently watching a battle for 9th spot right now. This is the Milwaukee 250 by LOVERN'S, Inc. We've completed now 82 of 250 laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race, which will be the Iconic Series race next week on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on the VOR channel. Don't miss it.
Oh, Solowich cleared himself off of 2. What a move there.
A move Caustic up to 9th. And where's the closest battle on the racetrack? Mason Mitchum and Tessera. This is a battle of one lap down cars in 19th. But the closest battle on the lead lap is right back where we were looking at. Braden Whitaker, as he's starting to roll up now on Pim. This is for 10th.
I really think Ryan Walker's pace is fine. He's slotted in right behind Luis Nunez and not really lost any time to him. I think maybe he just got caught out in a bad spot during the yellow sequence and decided to yield to the leaders until he was in clear racetrack.
And about a
the
month.
Julian fan club has showed up in the chat.
Well, let's get the camera on him. Julian now in second. There's Carl Stout getting around. Who is that? That would be Kyle Gretsch, who is now in 17th spot, one lap down. He's the first car one lap down. Shane Coker getting lapped. So he is now the first car one lap down. Next up for our leader is 15th spot, Tim Bree. Tim Bree in the middle of the backstretch, while Jesper is in the middle of the corner.
There are a handful of cars that are already one lap down between Bree and Orman. Coker had to go to the tail end of the longest line because he hit as the waiver.
We are currently 25 laps into this stint since we went last the green. Pretty much everybody now on the same strategy, with the exception of Kyle Gretsch. He's back in 17th. He's 64 laps into his stint. We expect him to come to pit road about any time. But everyone else is 25 or 24 laps into their stint. Whitaker now gaining on Pim for 10th.
Not even halfway yet.
No, not. I told you this is going to be a long one. This is 250 laps here. Is a long, long race. I thought 175 for the Iconic Series was a little bit on the longer side for that. But that's what Gilles wants. He wants to give these mile ovals a little bit more of a twist, make you work at them. The 250 miles here, even though we're doing 22-second laps, it is a long race. I want to put the camera back on
These
Ryan
corners.
and mention that in
These
about a
corners
month.
are so tight. You're in them for so long.
Yeah, you're almost in the corners at each end of the racetrack for as long as you're on the straights.
And it's shaped like a paperclip. You do the math. Figure it out.
Yep,
That means you're going slower in the corners.
I wanted to mention with Ryan here, actually a month from today is the start of, if we have it tentatively planned for today, or a month from today, March 1st, for our first broadcast of the IndyCar iRacing series. And their opener at Sebring on March 1st. So if the schedule is identical to the schedule from last year over on P1 on Saturday, March 1st at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will have round 1 of the IIS. It'll be myself, Antonio Estrada, and Ryan Whitaker, an all-star and multicultural cast of characters. We'll bring that action to you. That'll be March 1st, so be looking for it. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Jesper Orman, leader by 4.5 seconds. Tell me, Klindy, watching the lines between Julian and Orman, how is Orman that much faster than Julian? Is Julian possibly on a pace? Because he has team cars in second, third, and fourth. None of them are fighting one another. And do you think that they are on a schedule that for fuel mileage that they want to stick to? And Jesper is more like, well, let's just go full burn and push. I mean, what's the difference between the two lines? How is Jesper jumping out to almost a 5-second lead?
Well, I think part of it was getting the first part of this run, the first 20 to 30 laps in clean air. I think that does a lot to extend your pace over the course of a stint. And I also think Jesper tinkered and found something in the tools, because he's the only driver. I mean, clean air helps, right? But he must have done it in qualifying, and he's been doing it in the race. He consistently pulls out to these 2-3 second leads, right? Whenever there's no traffic involved. So it's telling me that he knows how to go faster when there's no cars in front of him than anyone else. I don't think that Julian and the other Altana Motorsport cars are on a fuel number. I think that the way that first caution fell put everyone in a position where a save is not very likely to help cut a stop. Or if you're going to have to save all race, you're going to be so much slower than a car that either splash and dashes at the end or does a full another stint on tires, that it's not going to be worthwhile to give up the track position. Because I think the tail of the tape is that the clean air and the track position is what gets Jesper ahead and keeps him ahead through the entirety of these runs.
Well, we thought coming into this race it was going to be a chaotic race, especially with 26 cars taking the green flag, but it's really been anything but a chaotic race. We've seen 2 cautions. The first caution was a multi-car incident going into turn 1. The second caution was a single-car incident coming off of turn 2. And that's been it so far to this point, as we are now 103, 103, now 104 of 250.
Gary, we have a development. Can you get the camera on Jesper's front wing and tell me what you see?
Oof.
Last
right front,
lap, passing Hugo Galles. I think, yeah, he now has right front wing damage. It is entirely possible that he's going to suffer a 5-second penalty on his next stop getting that repaired, and he's going to lose a ton, like tenths of a second of pace.
Let's see.
Just from that little scuff on the right front.
If we're going to be able to... Did it happen there?
I'm seeing it happen on lap 104 or 103 coming to 104, if that helps you at all.
Yeah, he does.
So yeah,
It
that'll be the
looks-
exit of this turn. The exit of turn 4.
All right, let's ride with them. Let's take a look at the wing config. Well, it doesn't look out of from the in-car shot. The planes look evenly distributed. I don't know. We'll see. It's a possible developing story now. As he's encountering lap traffic of Tim Bree and Max Molina as they're running for position. This is a battle for 14th, right in front of her leader. Last time by, our leader was 22.4. Julian was 22.2. That time by 22.3. Julian again a 22.2. But again, lap traffic directly in front of your leader.
And they're still on the lead lap, so they're able to fight here.
And right now, Bree and Molina are fighting one another for that 14th spot. And they'd also, there's two fights going on. They're fighting to stay on the lead lap, and they're fighting for 14th in the standings. And now Bree's going to end up losing this battle. He's going to have to yield to the leader here momentarily, eventually. Temporarily, the victor here is Molina, staying on the lead lap and getting the position around Bree. He's now 14th. Julian 3 seconds behind now. So he shaved off almost 3 seconds. It was almost up to 6 at one point. And in front of Julian is an associated teammate there in Hugo. So I don't think Hugo is going to hold up Julian much. That's going to even help him more as Orman still wrapped up in lap traffic, and Molina kisses the wall coming off of 4. That opens the door back up for Bree, smelling blood in the water, trying to get that position back. Molina's going to fade to the inside on Bree. Bree's going to hold it out high, get a big run off the high side. But not a good exit for Molina, and he gives up the position to Bree. Move Bree now up to 14th.
That's
Nunez.
textbook. Back up the entry.
Yep.
Fast on exit. Yep. Nunez fighting with Lovern.
And Lovern getting the position for 7th.
Oh, Lovern has been in front. He's holding off Nunez. Nunez is now to the inside again. On the attack.
Oof. Crossover. But I don't think there's going to be enough momentum there to get Lover in the position back. Well, he just sends it. It's going to prove me wrong. He sends it to the inside, gets side by side with Luis Nunez. But Nunez going to keep the momentum and the high side and gets the position. Ooh.
Love the fight from Lovern today. That was a bold move.
There's Shane Coker putting a pass on Kyle Gretsch. Kyle did come in for his stop about 15 laps ago. All right, Orman now around Bree, as we showed you that. Now he's getting ready to approach Lucas Santos in 13.
Almost Sullivan has said he's pitting.
Sullivan, pit road right now.
And that's just about 60 laps he went from the first stop.
Lucas Santos trying to hold off our leader. He is a participant in the Precision Racing League, their IndyCar series. And side by side with Santos. Now Santos down a lap, falling into the clutches of Bree. Bree might get another position here. This is a battle for 12th. Now Orman has lapped up to 12th.
I think Bree learned something following Orman.
Yeah, he might have.
Because he's picked up the pace considerably after getting lapped.
And what's going on is Bree's allowing Jesper to do the hard work, get up to that lap car, slow them down. Then Bree gets up into the battle and kind of picks up the scraps a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. I like it when drivers can race smarter, not harder. Very opportunistic now.
Call him the Vulture.
The Vulture, Tim Bree. Christensen staying high now for Orman. Not necessarily giving the position up, but trying to make things a little bit more difficult for Orman with Christensen's teammates cycling not so far behind that battle. Now here's Bree again on the inside of Christensen. Oh, he sends it into 3 and slides up behind him. Now he's going to try to reset.
I think that was an emergency move to avoid the dirty air from Orman. I think he saw that Orman was going to take the bottom and didn't want to have to be on the bottom of another car in dirty air. So he decided to go to the third lane instead of the first.
I'll see if that battle changes any, but Bree now 12th, Christensen 11th. Braden Whitaker is the next driver that's going to be put a lap down here by Orman if he could reach him. Oh, Bree side by side with Christensen. Here it is again. Oh! Christensen not giving any inch whatsoever.
Stout's in this time, but you can keep the camera on the battle.
Here's Bree to the inside, holding it down on the bottom and that paved area, getting a run off the corner, side by side with Christensen. This is a battle for 11th. Going to be there for 1 and 2 as well. Christensen now out in front, can slide down if he wants to, but a slow exit's going to give a fast response here for Bree down the backstretch into the draft. What is Bree going to do? He's going to stay high. Julian coming to pit road? No. So who's coming to pit road? I didn't see who that was.
Earl Stout came, and Nick Pollard came.
Ah, Nick Pollard. Okay.
John Christensen's coming this time.
That will give the position to Bree. Orman now in lap traffic again. And this is a battle for a 8th and 9th, right in front of the leader.
It's almost like a multi-class race. Jesper is so much faster than these
you're
other
right.
cars in the top 10.
Right now, it's like Julian's best in class. As Jesper is running away, and he put 2 cars that were in the top 10 that have pretty good pace. Pim has struggled a little bit, but he's, if you can make it to the top 10, you're doing well. Whitaker also in that battle.
And
he's up 8
4th.
spots.
Like, Pim definitely knows how to get around this track fast once, right? I think he's having a little bit of trouble with the long run pace, but...
So Pim's down 2. Whitaker
coming in this time.
Up 10. We've had some people hit pit road. That's changed that number a little bit, but still... If you could run in the top 10, you got some pace.
LOVERN'S coming in.
And Lovern from 5th spot coming in. Very dangerous pit road
Whitaker
entry.
and
And
Marina
he
both
spins,
in.
coming to pit road. He's sideways on pit road. Now he's backwards. He's backing it up. Here
There
come
are other
cars
cars
on the
looking
pit
to pit,
road,
including
including Altena. And Silvazzi. So that is disastrous for Lovern. Orman still out there. Brewer now second, who is about a half a lap behind Orman at the moment.
Gary, I have a theory.
Okay. Caution on the racetrack.
I've been beaten on flat.
Caution
oh my,
on the
that
racetrack.
Changes everything. Orman had not yet pit.
What happened?
Ryan Walker's involved. No. Lucas Santos spun on the front stretch.
Okay, so now we're watching. He's coming in, doing his stop. We're going to watch it in real time. If it's Lucas Santos. Getting the work done. New tires. Does he just come off the button? Now he's off the button, trying to bring the car up to speed. Cold tires. No, it looks like everything's fine off of pit road. Did he just leave his you know what? He might not have reset his tools. He might have had too much weight jacker in it from before, and you need to dial that down a little bit when you get new tires and everything, and that brings him sideways off of 4 and brings us out to a caution. Wow. Okay, so yeah, you're right. This changes everything. Jesper Orman now comes to pit road. He is your leader. Now, all these cars in front of him are going to get a wave around. Pim Van Gastel is also on the lead lap, currently shown in second. He's coming to pit road to get service. Julian's going to be among those cars to get the wave around. But he's going to have 4 lap cars in front of him, unless they come to pit road. All right, so now we're hearing those cars getting the wave around, I
It shouldn't change
think.
the running order much, but it's going to change the track position a lot.
Yeah.
And it gives Jesper an overwhelming advantage here, both in fuel and with clean air.
I don't think he's given up the lead yet.
So my theory before that yellow came out is that I've been beaten senseless by drivers faster than me on flat, fast tracks by them running a lower fuel map all the time. Just giving up a little bit of like flat out pace to save the tire and save more fuel.
It's
I wonder
possible.
if that's something Jesper's been doing.
It's
today.
entirely possible. Yeah, that is definitely a strategy I can see him using. Coming to the green flag this time for lap 139 of 250. We are past the halfway point, and Jesper wastes no time coming back up to speed. He is your leader going into 1 with Mitchum, Gallas, and Inch right behind him as lap traffic. The first car in this battle is Pim, and Pim is being swamped right now.
That was super timely for Pim. He got to move up from 8th or 10th in the running order to 2nd, just by virtue of delaying his pit stop.
But look at this traffic around him, and now here comes Julian for position. Here's a battle for position now with Santos and Gretsch in front of in this battle. Lovern taking evasive action on the backstretch. Julian to the inside. This is for second spot. Even though, look at the 3 different lines, about 2 or 3 rows deep going into 3 and 4.
The biggest loser out of that exchange, I think, is Luis Nunez. He's still marked 1 lap down.
And Orman is out to a 7.5 second lead.
Oh, and he almost spun off of turn 2. Greedy, Jesper.
Let's see what happens. He gets way up in the gray. He power slides the car through 2, catches it coming off of 2, and doesn't really lose that much time.
What a show off.
Hey, if you like what you see and would like to be part of the future races in the VOR IndyCar Championship, to learn more, click on the VOR Discord invite in the description, and you can go there and sign up and learn more today. Fastest lap that time by of the race, purple lap, Jesper Orman, 163.9.
With the power slide?
That was a lap after the power slide, so yeah.
It was intentional, folks. Jesper slid his tires to make him go faster.
And while we watch the leader, today's Milwaukee 250 race is brought to you by LOVERN'S Incorporated. LOVERN'S provides professional services and renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold remover for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote to learn more, like them on Facebook or visit their website at loverns.inc.com today. Link is in the description, and a shout out to Tom Lover. That's Gary's brother. He is the owner of Loverns Inc., and we want to always welcome them watching the broadcast. Gary having a great race. He's in 10th. He's surrounded by a hornet's nest of angry other drivers right now, trying to get situated after this last caution. And move Gary up to 9th around Brewer. That's a battle for position, no less. So let's reset the field. There is P2, Julian Altena. He is currently 7.7 seconds behind our leader, Orman. Orman has skated out all by himself. Liam O'Sullivan is 3rd. Stout is 4th. Pim Van Gastel, who managed to stay out longer than everybody but the leader in the last pit stop cycle. He has worked his way up now to 5th as everyone around him is racing hard. Oh, look at Brewer on the high side. Here's Christensen down in the middle of this battle. Tim Bree in that.
Last lap trying to race with Walker, just missed it, and that's an absolute hornet's nest now.
Christensen and Brewer, that's a battle. They're both 1 lap down. So the top 5 are all on the lead lap. Everyone else from 6th on down, which is Nunez right here, he is the first car 1 lap down. So Jesper's managed to now lap halfway up into the top 10. Yeah, Jesper's led every single lap.
If this race goes green, it will continue to be that way. And he has such a big lead, he has no reason to respect an undercut with his competitors. He can just run the tank dry again and hope for another yellow to put them all another lap down.
Should be pointed out, something that we haven't talked about yet as a fallout from the last race that we were watching for the IndyCar Championship. The incident that you saw with Orman and O'Sullivan coming to the checkered flag in the final corner there at Watkins Glen, it was reviewed and later decided that Liam O'Sullivan would not get the DQ that he was given by the auto stewarding system here in the game for reaching the incident limit, and he was reinstated his 3rd place finish. at Watkins Glen. So Liam now gets that podium result from Watkins Glen. And originally he was going to be something like 5th or 6th or something way down the order. And that's a big sigh of relief for Liam now, who's in 3rd in points. And currently 3rd in this race.
And 3rd on the racetrack today.
Actually, Liam's 6th in points, but 3rd on the racetrack today. But they're all going to, right now, the top 5, and we'll remind you what the points are. Here they are. Salvazzi's 2nd. Salvazzi currently running 7th on the racetrack. Forsyth not in the lineup. Aiden Millward out already. Luis Nunez is 5th in the standings, 6th on the racetrack. Liam O'Sullivan, 6th in the standings, 3rd on the racetrack. Christensen, 7th in the standings, 12th on the racetrack. Alexander not here. Inch, 9th in the standings. He's well down in the order here. And Orman, 10th in the standings. He's your reigning and defending, and I should also say 2-time defending champion here in this series. He's currently your leader, but only 10th in the standings. So he's looking for a big point stay to gain
he's going to get every... Oh, another incident.
Lucas Santos.
He's been snake bit over there in turn 4. I think he just looped it himself. Oh, no. Too much rumble strip.
A lot of rumble strip. A lot of rumble strip. And he spins out right in front of our leader. Okay, that's gonna...
So this is where pit strategy...
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just getting ready to say, pit strategy and Julian are definitely happy about this particular caution.
I think Jesper's going to stay out because he wants every of the other lead lap cars to think that they'll have a chance if they put tires on here, and then bury them behind any car that's a lap down and stays out. Altena stays out. O'Sullivan pits. Stout pits.
Nunez gets back on the lead lap.
Out.
Nunez gets back on the lead lap. Gastel stays out.
But he'll be starting from the tail end of the longest line. It's like the NASCAR lucky dog rule, effectively.
Liam O'Sullivan comes to pit road. So Liam is the first of the pit road guys. Stout is also off of pit road. He's right behind Tessera coming up to speed. So let's try to... not a lot of takers on pit road. Coker also on pit road. Santos, obviously, from the spin. Gretsch on pit road. Mitchum on pit road.
You would think a lot more of the cars that are 1 or more laps down, considering that Jesper stayed on the track, would have pit.
Inch goes to pit road, gets out of the way of the leader. Caution. Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right. But now Julian's in direct contact.
I would say... Yep. I mean, but Jesper's tires are going to be so much better because he had no competition that whole first half of the stint, right? So I don't think Jesper's going to be sweating bullets here.
Lights out on the pace car, coming to the green flag here on lap 161, coming to 162. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 3 of 10 of the VOR IndyCar Championship, coming to you from the Milwaukee Mile for the Milwaukee 250 by LOVERN'S, Inc., where it has been a dominant day by Jesper Orman, bringing the field to green. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race, which will be the VOR Iconic Series at Iowa next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Green flag ready to be flown, and it is. And we are back underway. Lap 162 of 250. Is Orman, Altena, Van Gastel, O'Sullivan, and Stout your top 5. And Nunez rejoins the lead lap. He is now the last car on the lead lap in 6th spot. Your lead lap car is that car right there. We see right on the inside of Pim Van Gastel. That is Salvazzi. So he very much would like to see another caution and get that wave around himself. Get back into the fight.
I could see why Silvazzi would stay out to try to preserve that free pass on the next yellow. But I think everyone behind him should have done the opposite of whatever Jesper did.
Orman, fastest lap, 1:64.9. Clean air, cold tires, light tank. That's what it'll do. Orman 28 laps into his stint. Julian 31. Pim 28. And O'Sullivan and Stout, they could, if we go green for a long time, those two guys can stay out the longest.
The issue is they started with a 10-second deficit, basically, because of all the traffic and the single-file restart that they got trapped behind. They would have to hope for a yellow late in the run, just like Jesper got in the last run. So now I think it is very improbable that Jesper will Grand Slam, because Stout or O'Sullivan will inherit the lead when he eventually has to fill up the tank here for his final run.
Yep. And that's, I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's so challenging to do on an oval. It is much tougher on an oval to pull out a big, big lead that you can protect your delta on pit road, unlike a road course. Battle for 12. Whitaker and Molina. Whitaker to the inside. Actually, Molina to the inside. Whitaker to the outside. I think Whitaker is going to get this position with the high momentum on the high side. There he goes, and he's on by. Move Braden Whitaker up to 12th. Molina now 13th. Next closest battle on the racetrack is this between Christensen and Bree. We'll also keep an eye on Molina and Whitaker again, as it is remaining close. Bree to the inside of Pim. This is not for position. This is just track position, but it's going to open the door for Christensen. Bree back to the inside on Pim. Christensen sends it to the inside in 3 and 4, and now pulls alongside Bree. This is a battle for 10th.
Bree saw the move Christensen did and said, I could do it too. Hey, Pim, watch this.
Gonna go possibly almost 3 wide through the corner there. Certainly 3 different lines of air getting to those front wing planes. Still Bree to the inside of Pim. Again, track position between those two. Scoring positions between the 2 blue cars on your screen right there in the middle. So there's 3 there, but the first 2 blue cars. Actually, all 3 of the blue cars are scoring for the position in that same spot, to be honest. But we're watching the battle between Bree and Christensen. Back up front, Stout has been ran down a little bit by Luis Nunez. This is going to be a battle for 5th and 6th once Luis Nunez gets there. So Luis is trying to capitalize the most after getting that lap back under that last caution.
And not but 2 laps ago, Carroll Stout was underneath Liam O'Sullivan looking for 4th. Carroll just got a bad run out of the exit of the corner, and then a lap car slotted in between them. It kind of broke things up.
Julian not letting Jesper get away. Only a 1.1 second lead. The reason why Jesper was in the little lap traffic there for a bit, trying to get around Inch and 22nd, currently 8 laps down. But he is yielding to the leaders. Inch stays high in 3 and 4. Caution on the racetrack. Matt Brewer. I think he just gets loose off the corner. He's loose in the middle of the corner. He's catching it, power sliding, catching it. Still power sliding. Caught it. Still power sliding, catching it. And, oh, he is into the crush water jugs trash pits at the gore point for the pit road.
Yeah, the attenuator protectors.
Yeah.
And he saw Jesper do that power slide, I guess, off of turn 2. He said, maybe I could do it. There's a wall on the front stretch there, Mr. Whitaker. Or Mr. Brewer, excuse me.
And that unfortunately ends a good day for Matt Brewer. Started 7th, was in the top 10 for pretty much the entire day. Is getting loose in the middle of 3 and 4, catching it, and then finally just losing it off the exit of 4. And smacking the attenuator. Julian sticking with oh, so close coming off of pit road.
That high fly ball that Jesper Orman hit deep to left field. I'm not sure if you don't want to call it a home run, but either there weren't 3 men on base or it didn't clear the wall, because Liam O'Sullivan is coming around to lead a lap here.
Yeah, that is
Grand
great.
Slam dream
In
is
the
going
Grand
to be
Slam, yep.
Squashed.
The old
and this gives all new life to Nunez.
Yes,
going
it does.
To be within
Third.
striking distance.
He'll be in 3rd.
And he's got
it
the
looks,
same tires as Stout and O'Sullivan.
Yes, and it looks like that Altina Autosport has decided they are going to split strategy here.
I mean, Julian didn't have a chance, or didn't have an option, right? He should have pit if he wanted to be with his teammates now and bank on that yellow. He needed to pit on the previous yellow. But now he's just got to follow Jesper through the handful of lappers between himself and the 3 leaders to see if they can work their way back to the podium.
Coming to green flag lap 180. Liam O'Sullivan leading for the first time today. Carl Stout 2nd, Luis Nunez 3rd. Orman, who's dominated today, now back and 4th. Altina 5th. Here we go. Green flag, a very slow restart for O'Sullivan. Measured restart as he has a teammate on his 6 in Carl Stout. Luis Nunez, who no more than 15 minutes ago was a lap down. Now he's battling for 2nd spot as he's in 3rd.
Now, the next wrinkle in this, Gary, is that there is exactly 70 to go. I think Jesper and Julian are good to make it on fuel to the finish, and I believe Liam, Carroll, and Lewis are not.
No.
So O'Sullivan, Stout, and Nunez, your first 3 leaders, the podium runners, I don't believe they'll be able to make it to the end.
Well, Nunez
with the fuel they have in the car right now.
Nunez is 50 laps into his stint. So he will be coming to pit road sometime in the next 10, 15 laps, something like that. Then Stout and Sullivan are 22 laps into their stint. So there's still another 30 or so before they even begin to start thinking about hitting pit road. They would make their final stops, but they would turn things over to Jesper and Julian. And a lot can happen in that time frame where we can get another caution and change things up yet again. But we shall see. But Jesper probably will inherit the lead again when O'Sullivan, Stout, and Nunez come to pit road. And I think Jesper's got to know that, because why push if you know those guys in front of you are going to stop and get out of your way anyways?
Yep, exactly like the ISR race at Kansas. I knew that Murph and I could just hang out behind the one car of Rick Vravon, who was going to be very short on fuel, and we could just save behind him. Well, then a yellow mucked that all up. Right?
Christensen and Salvazzi getting close proximity for a battle here for 7th. Christensen up 14 spots. to P7, looking for a little bit more. Salvazzi back on the lead lap. I told you he was wanting to get it. He was a lap down, no more than caution on the racetrack. Who's the inside there? Lucas Santos again.
I believe that is the third. Yep, third strike for Lucas Santos off of turn 4. I think he got hit by Julian. Once he was spinning, not to cause him to spin.
Oh, he did hit Julian. And does the wheel come back into place for Julian? It does, but Julian, as a result,
yes, but the wing did not.
The wing did not. So there is actually large amounts of damage on that car. I believe the side pod is. We'll see when the car comes by on the replay. I believe that that right side pod is bubbled and bowed out as well. And again, Julian gets caught up in somebody else's spin for 2 races in a row to not his own fault. I'm sure he's not happy. And
if you had the voice chat on, Gary, you would be able to confirm that.
and poor Santos has just had a rough day. Might have even reached the incident limit. I'm not sure. But I'm sure that's not what he wanted to see happen. And taking out one of the leaders as a result, definitely not what he wants to see happen. So I'm sure Santos is not looking forward to that steward report when it comes out midweek. He'll be starting a little bit further on back than he wants to when we get to Iowa here in 2 weeks for the IndyCar Championship. So that turns the lead back over to Jesper, with really Jesper's main rival in some serious straits right now on pit road, getting repaired, is Julian.
Yeah, Julian will be lucky to finish even on the lead lap. I think he may have even just exited the car.
So there you see on pit road, that right there. Now he's back in the car. So right there you see the side pod is not flush with all the parts. So it's bubbled, has a little hole there. It's bowed out a little bit. And he's going to go down a lap. And this changes really the outlook of the championship, because Julian was leader by 5 over Salvazzi. They're the points. Salvazzi now 6th spot on the lead lap, and Julian now 13th and still counting, as now he's down to 14th as Gilles goes on by. Coker will go by in about 2 laps. So will Marcos Teixeira and Pollard in about 3 laps. So Patrick Salvazzi right here, if he can put together a good finish, might come out of this race as your new points leader.
Well, and critically, Julian didn't lead any laps today. I don't think there's any bonus points on the table for him.
Bit of a jumbled start further on back, but we'll keep an eye on Salvazzi. Now we have 8 cars now on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Caustic Stolwich. My fellow Pole, he is currently in 8th. So now
Tim Van Gastel, ever the opportunist,
back to second
after
again
pitting with Jesper 2 cautions ago. Yes.
There's Tim Bree looking to get around Pim. I think Pim has even told himself, I don't have the outright pace, but if I can put my car at the right place at the right time, I get track position. And that's what he's done all race long. And he's got himself now up to second. Now he's, again, might not have the pace as our leader does, but he definitely has the perfect timing today with the way these cautions have fell. Orman already out to a 3.5 second lead.
Just about 60 to go.
That's Molina around Pim. Again, that's just for track position, not for position and timing and scoring. The next closest person to Pim is way back there. There's Liam. Liam is 2 seconds behind Pim. Pim 4.5, 4.7 behind Orman. Here we got a battle on the racetrack here down between Christensen and Solwedge for 7th. Solvazzi getting around Mason Mitchum. Mitch back at 18th, 6 laps down right now. Solwedge down on the outside looking for a little bit of clean air to try to get a run on Christensen now as a cycle in behind Mitchum. Try to get that pass completed. As the closest battle on the racetrack. I think, really, I don't know if Solvazzi has a spotter or anyone helping him, but I know that Team Watson typically has multiple drivers. Maybe Strauss is helping him out. Maybe Strauss knows he could say, hey, man, the guy that's ahead of you in the championship just had an incident and is now 20th. You're in the top 10. On the verge of the top 5, just bring this car home.
Yeah, Seb Kinder connected to the session about halfway through, so he could have some eyes in the sky or a man on the pit box, just talking him through. You don't need to win this race, man. Just where you are right now, running 5th, running 6th, gonna be great.
And I tell this to anybody that's, if you're a seasoned sim racer or you're new to sim racing, if you could find a buddy that could be your spotter or on the box, as we say. Be the man behind the man, be the man on the computer. Kind of like Peter Parker's buddy and Spider-Man. Be the man behind the man, be the man in the chair. Yeah, if that is perfectly legal in iRacing to give you that data while you drive, and that is key data that Patrick can say, if I don't know that, maybe I full send it on somebody and I get an incident and I cause myself to wreck, and then I rewatch this race and I find out the commentators were talking about me possibly taking the points lead if I can finish this race. I wish I knew that information. If you have someone in the chair for you, they can tell you that information either by calculating it on their own or watching the stream in the background on another screen somewhere. Meanwhile, back up front, Orman out to an 8.2 second lead. My God.
Yeah, I'm going to convert to the Church of Orman. So I know where to find speed. Won't be too long before Pim Van Gastel's in the clutches of Silvazzi, and that'll put him in the top 5.
Stout trying to get around Molina. Molina bouncing off the wall off the corner exit. And that's going to be a battle between Molina and, who is that going to be? Braden Whitaker. Actually, that's not yeah, there won't be a battle for position. Looks like Julian is back underway, but he is slow to the inside. I think he might just be trying to make some laps here. Improve on positions while getting around those other cars that are on pit road not moving. But I think everybody is currently moving right now, so he's trying to prevent himself from going deeper into the standings. Car on the wall.
Yeah, he came out.
Solvazzi. Solvazzi's missing a front wing.
The man in the chair.
And he gets the Pim.
Sends it to the inside just a little too hard. Pow. And that damage that's unfixable. Oh,
that is
hot back.
Oh my goodness. And he's coming to pit road right now to get that looked at, and that has impact on the points as well. He could have waited.
So who's third, Gary? Who's third in the points? Was it Forsyth who's not here?
So it's Julian, Silvazzi, Forsyth, Millward, Nunez.
And Millward also crashed today. And Nunez is running 4th. 3rd now. No, sorry, 4th. I forgot Jesper was here.
Well, he's 3rd in class. Let's put it that way. I don't know why. Again, I keep saying Savazzi is getting smarter in these races, but I don't know why he decided that he wanted to fight that hard on Pim when he eventually was going to pass him anyways.
From 5 seconds, and yep, it's got to be a little more patient than that.
And so now Jesper is involved in lap traffic at the moment. And Jesper knows when I've spotted for Jesper. Jesper can watch this race back after the fact. He's heard me say to him, big picture here. You're up in a good position. You don't need to fight hard. And that is a good reminder for these drivers, because sometimes there is no off switch. Once the race goes green, there's no other voice telling them to show patience, to slow down, or to think big picture.
If you ever do endurance racing, it's always good to have a spotter just telling you better to log laps than to sit in the pits.
Stay awake.
That is where Savazzi is right now. Yeah.
And I really don't see until the late stages Liam and Carl racing. I see these two teammates working with one another and maintaining the position and bringing home 2 Altena Autosports cars on the 2nd and 3rd step on the podium. Mason Mitchum getting around Patrick Savazzi for 17th by virtue of Savazzi on pit road getting repairs. .213 of 250 coming to the final stages of this race. Wow. The last 20 minutes has changed the outlook of this championship, and we're only in round 3.
A lot of time to fight back for these drivers, but you've got to be consistent. Especially with fields of this size that show up for the ovals, there's a lot of points that you could lose or gain when your competitors have bad days like today.
And here comes Jesper to put down Pim van Gastel a lap. So the track position strategy, I think, has played its way out for Pim. He's probably going to get a top 10 out of this. But he is probably not looking at a podium at all. Orman now your leader by 9 seconds over O'Sullivan. And a shout out to John Christensen. He's in 5th, up 16 spots just by being patient. This is a long race. Playing the long game has got him into a top 5.
Executing the correct pit road strategies as well, knowing when to pit and when to take the waves, really have fell into the hands of some of these drivers. Like Van Gastel probably hit one few too many times, right? If he had been on better tires or found a way to have better pace at the front of the field, he probably could have held on to the top 5 a little longer, but he lost that lap within 30 laps of us going green from the last time.
Braden Whitaker around Max Molina for 9th, out inside the top 10. Tim Bree in 8th. He might actually catch Van Gastel. They're both now on the same lap. Gossick Solwedge, he's now up to 6th. He's up 8 spots. He's right behind Christensen for 5th. I want to take this opportunity once more to say that the Milwaukee 250 race is brought to you by LOVERN'S Incorporated. LOVERN'S provides professional services in renovation, remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For a quote or to learn more, like them on Facebook or follow them at their website at loversinc.com today. Link is in the description. And, of course, a shout-out to the boss man of Loverns Inc., Tom Lovern, Gary's brother, who watching today. Gary's currently in 11th. He's had himself a pretty good weekend here, Milwaukee weekend here in the Lassie Online Racing Leagues. Had himself a top 10 yesterday in that yellow flag again. Pim Van Gastel.
That all came unraveled for Pim Van Gastel.
How did this happen? How did this develop? Did he get a little help? It looks like a whole lot of netcode. And Pim's day done after a great race. Okay. So now the leaders, with 28 to go. I don't know if we're close enough that the lap traffic will move on back and allow all the leaders to get in direct contact. But if you got tires, do you use them? We found out that yesterday in the Iconic Series, tires didn't mean very much at some point. At some point, the usefulness of the tires really just wore off, and it became everybody was really very, very level at one point. Or do you just stay out and hope for that track position? And track position seemed to be the call of the day yesterday. Is that today's call of the day as well?
I think if you're Jesper, there's no one who can beat you no matter the tire differential. I think you're that much faster than the rest of the field. He can do no wrong. He could probably pit and pass the field, or he could stay out and defend on old tires. I don't think it goes poorly for him one way or the other. I think it'll be easier for him if he stays out. So the question becomes, do the Altena Autosport cars come? O'Sullivan and Stout would be the first cars in contact, but I think that they chose to stay out as well.
Yeah, and we are at the point of the race where the leaders all cycle forward to put in direct contact with each other, and all those cars one lap down or more are behind the leaders. So we're going to see Tim Bree join the lead lap here, and he will be in 7th at the tail end of he'll be at, actually, because he gets the wave around, he will be at the tail end of the complete longest line, but he'll still be on the lead lap. But all your leaders now, Orman, O'Sullivan, Stout, Nunez, Christensen, and Solwedge, which is that green and black car right there in the middle of your screen. He is the last car now on the lead lap. The top 6 are all together. All of them decided to stay out. In terms of where we are stint-wise, Orman 47 laps, but Liam, Stout, and Nunez and Christensen all at 37 laps, and Solwedge at 48 laps old. So Solwedge on the same strategy as Jesper, but O'Sullivan, Stout, Nunez, and Christensen about 10 laps better tires than our leader. So the big trade-off there is they're all about the same in terms of fuel level, but the lighter cars are going to be in the form of Orman and Solwedge here.
Good jump from Jesper. It's about half a second immediately between himself and O'Sullivan.
Luis Nunez in a battle to attack now. The inside of Stout. He's going to look. He's going to try to send it. I think Stout actually gave him a little bit of dirty air going into 3. Did not make things easy. Now Nunez back in line trying to run down Stout for 3rd.
And Christensen's right behind. He says, come on, guys, let me move up from 21st to the podium. All 3rd and 4th have to do is get a little bargee, and I'll get 2 for the price of 1.
Christensen, P5, up 16. Jesper Orman, fast lap again that time, 1:65.9.
I told you he'd be fast no matter what he did.
And the top 3, top 4 start to separate out a little bit. Gilles and Coker in a battle for 3-lap down cars for 12. Caution! Braden Whitaker. And let's see what happens. We catch him on that initial replay midway through 1 and 2 already sideways. So we'll see what happens here in this shot as he turns into 1 and 2.
He just lost it. Too much wheel, not enough grip in the tires. I don't know if they weren't up to temp or the car was lighter and turning more than it had all day. Just bit on him and snapped.
That's a day done hit in turn 2.
Day done. Yep, exactly.
All right, so this is going to help Tim Bree. He now will rejoin the leaders, passing. They should give him all the track position, I believe. And that's going to give Molina the wave around now, I think. And bring Molina to the lead lap, I think. I could be wrong. But we'll see Bree. Here's Bree. Again, we kind of gave him the Vulture name a little bit earlier in this race. And again, picking up scraps where others have messed up. Tim Bree, at one point a lap down, now he's back on the lead lap in 7th spot. Molina getting the wave around, so he will rejoin the tail end of the field, but not before he decides to come down pit road for a new set of tires. 20 to go. Lights are out on the pace car. Molina needs to hurry up. They're the leaders right behind Molina coming out of 4. So he needs to hustle it now. And the leaders now take the green flag. And Molina's going to be on the apron coming up the speed. He needs to hustle now.
He'll be out of the way. He's got a black flag to serve anyway.
Oh, did he speed on pit road?
Here again to serve the black.
Did he speed on pit road?
No, he entered a closed pit because the race control shortened the caution, so the pits were never open for him, and so he chose to pit and got a penalty that was not waived.
Lovern around Molina, who's coming to pit road in terms of the order. Now Lovern up to 8th. Teixeira is going to pass Molina here in a lap or so because of the penalty. And now we'll move up Teixeira into 9th. And might even move Coker, if he, depending on how long this hold is, up in the 10th, who's currently 11th, side by side with Hugo Gilles. 17 to go. Your leader, Jesper Orman. Liam O'Sullivan is 2nd. Carl Stout 3rd. Luis Nunez 4th. John Christensen 5th. Every single one of these. Orman, fastest lap that time, 166.2. Just about every single one of these drivers in the top 5, top 6 has had something happen to them today, with the exception of really Liam O'Sullivan and Stout. They've kind of had run-of-the-mill races where they just kept their car out of trouble and maintained position. They've been really literally in 2nd and 3rd all day long today.
Yeah, once Altena had his troubles, they shifted up. They were, running 3rd and 4th all day long, but now 2nd and 3rd. The one time that maybe their heart skipped a beat is when we had that first caution where Jesper put most of the field a lap down. But other than that, it's been very smooth sailing.
Battle between Bree and Solwich for 6th. Coker and Gilles for 10th.
And that would put Coker up 13 spots on the day.
Coker now into 10th. Bree tries to send it to the inside of Soul Wedge. That battle between
better than Christensen that lap.
That battle between Gilles and Coker's not over. 12 to go. Coming to 11 to go. If you enjoy the Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR IndyCar Championship and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. Julian is less than 10 subscribers away to getting to the 500 mark. Just do him a big favor. While you're watching here, click the subscription button. It's free. It's not going to cost you a cent. Show your appreciation. Turn that red button gray. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so you'll miss out on the next race, which is next week at Iowa with the Iconic Series. Me and Clindy will bring you the action 4 p.m. Eastern at Iowa, of course.
From the land of beer and cheese to the land of corn. Bree,
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Bumping fenders there with Solo Etch.
Bree now has the edge on Solo Edge for 6th. Jesper now gonna put Molina a lap down. 9 to go, coming to 8 to go. Big run on the high side for Orman. He gets now the pass. He completes it, and he's got smooth sailing in front of him. The next closest car is Julian, a second up the road. I suspect, with all of the talk of blue flag rules, that Julian is going to get out of the way, and he does.
Yeah, he was on the comms clearly saying he was going to stick to the high line.
Julian, by virtue of staying out, actually gained a position up to 17th, passing Braid Whitaker, who wrecked out here recently. So Julian just trying to keep going. Salvazi's back on the racetrack, and he passes Whitaker for 18th. So, again, valuable points at hand here. Never give up, never surrender. 5 to go. Jesper Orman getting those left wheels well under the rumble strips there in turns 1 and 2.
Like deja vu from yesterday, except for he only passed one car today.
And he's looking at a weekend sweep here at Milwaukee. And then he comes back here again tomorrow in the Elite IndyCar Series for their race here. Can he do triple duty? You'll have to follow Jesper and find out he's in the wall off of 4.
He's been doing it all day, Gary. It's how he goes fast.
Well, those were a couple of hard hits off of 4. But he still has himself a 2.7 second lead over O'Sullivan. Again, oh man, almost in the wall again off of 4. 2 to go. White flag next time by for our defending series champion, 2-time champion here in the VOR IndyCar Championship. Halfway down the backstretch in the 3 and 4. Looking at the white flag this time by for a dominant day for the IAR driver. White flag in the air. O'Sullivan 1.8. So he has reeled him in a little bit. Down the backstretch for the final time. Lap traffic in front of him not going to be a factor. Midway through 3 and 4. And he can glide into a winner's circle here, getting the win. And boy, did he put a stomping on the field. Jesper Orman, your winner at the Milwaukee Mile.
Absolute domination. No one had anything for the man from Sweden. Won the pole, had the fastest lap, led all but a handful of laps just due to a little bit of poor timing from Yellows, and he's going to rightfully come burn it down on one of the world's oldest front stretches.
here you go. Jesper Orman, winner by 1.7 seconds, but he dominated really much more than that here at the all day long. Liam O'Sullivan very quietly with a good performance in P2. Him, and like we said, him and Carl Stout finishes in third. Really just had a straightforward, keep the cars off the wall, pointed in the right direction, and we will do fine type of day. They do well for Altena Autosport team coming on the second and third step. Luis Nunez, at one point, this guy was a lap down, gets back on the lead lap, comes home with a top 5 in fourth. John Christensen, your biggest gainer of the day. Christensen in a very much a Christensen-type drive, comes home in fifth, up 16 spots. Tim Bree, he, again, we kind of called him the vulture on this one. Very opportunistic, picked up a lot of positions to get inside the top 10, but by following the leader, getting around those guys, the leader put a lap down, and then he gets in a position where he gets his lap back, and he finishes sixth. Great job for Tim. Solwedge, not a good day yesterday, but a lot of redemption for him today. Seventh. Lovern, another top 10 for Lovern. Top 10 yesterday, top 10 here today in the IndyCar Series. Great finish for him. Teixeira, ninth. Teixeira, very quiet race. Started up front, but recovered. Must have found his pace mid-race, and he comes home ninth. Shane Coker, another one of those type of races. He wasn't feeling well yesterday. I imagine he's probably feeling a little bit better today, but still not 100%. Another top 10 for Coker in 10th. Gilles, a very quiet race for him, 11th. Molina, 12th. That could have been a better day for him, but penalty at the end cost him. Pollard, in his first start in the series, 13th. Gretsch, a bit of a long day for Gretsch, but still brings it home with the top 15. Mason Mitchum in 15th. Inch, 16th. Julian, not the day he wanted. Another innocent victim incident with him in 17th. Salvazzi had really the position to capitalize the most here today, and for whatever reason, just got in a racing incident with Pim Van Gastel. He comes home 18th. Walker, 19th. Whitaker in 20th. There's Pim in 21st. Santos, a rough day, and I'm sure a day that he wants to forget, and we'll see what the stewards rule on him midweek. But he comes out with 22nd. Brewer, a better day than 23rd indicates. He had himself a solid top 10 run all day long. Yako, with fans in the chat, in his first start here, was doing pretty good, but had an incident where he is relegated to 24th. Aiden, he is in that two-car incident with Matthias Strauss early in the race. Finishes 25th. Strauss 26th, and Alexander Bonney in 27th. All right,
We've got everyone in the waiting room. Whenever you're ready, Gary.
Stand by. Just need to queue up some replays here. All right, and let's clear off some of my overlays here so I can see what I'm doing. Let's get Carl here, and unless I'm mistaken, he's in here right now with us. Good. Welcome, Carl Stout. Unless I'm mistaken, and I could be wrong, I am wrong from time to time, first podium in the series. If not, it's been a while since you've been on the podium, bringing that bright gold car into the bronze position here at Milwaukee. A very clean race for you and your teammate Liam. Kept your cars out of trouble and just kind of maintained a spot really in the top 5 all day today. And then when the time came to race at home and get that final result, you're on the bottom step. Congratulations. Talk about your race.
Yeah, it was a bit tricky getting into getting close to people and trying to get by them because of the dirty air, and then when the yellow was out and we were like just after we pitted, we had to try and just get back to Jesper, which was a bit difficult, but in general it was pretty decent. Tried to keep out of trouble. Lost a little bit of time on the second pit cycle, I believe. But yeah, that's really it.
Go ahead, Clindy.
When you had a bunch of yellows in the middle of the race, it kind of mixed up the strategy bag. There was maybe a run to the end where you and Liam had inherited the lead, and Luis Nunez was behind you, and I don't think you guys were going to make it on fuel. How long were you going to push those tanks, and how close to the finish were you going to get?
I think we probably could have gone until like lap 240, I believe. So yeah, we were relying on a bit of yellow, and then from Jesper having to pit again because he pitted quite early. So props to him for fuel saving that, because I told Liam as well, like multiple times, like he's gonna run out of fuel, he's gonna have to pit. So yeah, it's yeah, I was just surprised that he made it like that to the end. To be honest with you.
Well, a long race here. Go ahead, Clindy.
No, you got the same thing I was saying. I was saying you survived a long 250 lap race and you came home third. You've got the spotlight for friends, family, sponsors, associates you'd like to shout out. The floor is yours. You've got the mic.
Obviously, I'd like to shout out my parents, my sponsor, BFT Tanker Logistics, there's the IFPS personal financial planning, LOVERN'S, and yeah, just my family to make this work. Live and dream. So yeah.
Well, congratulations, and to echo Clindy, I mean, 250 laps here at Milwaukee is no joke. So I'm sure you're tired. So go get some rest, but celebrate P3 here at a very challenging race, and it doesn't really get much easier after this. We're going to Iowa, so more short track racing here in a couple more weeks. So get your rest, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, let's bring up Liam here now. Here is Liam. Much the same question we asked Carl. Just a long day. 250 laps here at Milwaukee is no joke. Never could really quite get up to Jesper. He was in his own time zone, class, whatever, you name it. But in terms of you and your teammate Carl, a very good day performance-wise. You kept your car out of trouble. You had a different pit strategy that paid off. And very cleanly, I think you and Carl probably had the most boring races out of everybody in the top five. Somebody had something happen to them in the top five. You guys really just kept the car clean and green, and that's half of the game sometimes in order to get a good finish. And you were rewarded with a good finish here in second. Talk about your race.
Yeah, I mean, it's the luxury with, it's the last DW12 race and today's race, to have all 5, 6 of the guys just running in the top 10 really allowed us to throw the strategy. So me and Carol decided to roll the dice. I rolled it about 3 times and just did the opposite to Jesper, especially that last one. If that caution had come about 5-10 laps earlier, I think Jesper would have been forced to pit there, because I know he had to probably save a little bit to make that long stint, because I think he was about nearly going on 70 laps. So it was unfortunate that that was the only way we kind of had to go about it, because, yeah, as you said, Jesper's was in his own time zone and we were just struggling so bad. The issue was you could follow through 1 and 2, but there was quite a strong wind coming across in 3 and 4 that just killed you if you tried to follow. So literally about 1.5, 1.6 was the best you could do. So it was all just trying to do it on the restart. But when you have a driver of kind of that caliber in front of you, it's just always kind of half of you's thinking, let's bring it home. Strong team result 3 in the top 5.
Go ahead, Clindy.
So yesterday you had a dominant performance kind of taken away from you due to bad luck or strategy. How does it feel to be on the other end of the stick today, where you had a chance given to you to maybe win this race due to strategy and a little bit of good luck? Do you feel like maybe this was a little bit of compensation from yesterday's storm cloud?
Yeah, it's always like that at the short tracks. There was a 3-lap difference between when I pitted and when Julian and kind of Jesper pitted. which the caution came out in, which, I mean, that could happen at any time, anywhere, but you have to take the risk, and sometimes you're going to be on either end of it, especially at the short tracks. It's just pot luck. But yeah, we managed it well. I think that last roll of the dice where we split from Jesper could have gone either way, and I think we could have easily ended up ahead of him. And then I don't think he would have been able to do anything about it, just with how bad it was to follow. But yeah, it's a great result. I mean, unfortunate to Julian, but I thought the driving standards on the whole today for 27 cars were amazing, bar a few incidents, and it was a great race.
Sorry, I was just kind of looking at chat. Got a lot of people that checked in. Aiden checked in and he retracted his message, so I don't know what he said, but he might not be happy. But I'm looking at the points, and you have even more reason to be happy now, as the points have clocked in. Julian leads with 106, which is kind of amazing after kind of being an innocent victim in today's race. But you're now 10 points behind him now in this championship, and are 5 points ahead of Patrick Salvazzi, who I think really wasted an opportunity today when Julian fell out. That Salvazzi, all he really needed to do was just kind of finish this race, and he might have had an edge in this points championship, but got into trouble and really kind of opened the door for you to gain 4 spots in the championship alone today. But it's you with 96 points, Julian with 106, and now Salvazzi and Jesper are now tied with 91. So very early in the season in the championship, but you're setting yourself up for a good run at this thing. How do you feel about now being second in the championship, albeit early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear. Momentum's definitely on my side. I feel like I'm driving the best I have done in forever, and finally feel like I've mastered it on every kind of style of track, and kind of feel on top of the world with it at the moment, that I can take on anyone and win any race, which I wouldn't have said previously. So again, run for it strong in the R18 Championship and be there at the end like we were last season, and hopefully rectify what I missed out on and kind of deserved last season. And again, we're in a strong position in the DW12, so try and get the sweep.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors.
Shout out Mum, Dad watching for the long slog today of 250 laps. Granddad, I know you're watching in London. Also shout out to Max Verstappen for getting banned on iRacing for 2 weeks, having an incident with a teammate of mine to get that to happen. But world champion there.
He's not listening to I guarantee Max Verstappen's not listening to it. If he is, all power to us. Make sure you subscribe, Max. But that's hilarious.
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention it, a bit of a funny one. But yeah, whole team, obviously. I mean, we've seen a massive step forward in all the rounds so far, of all 6 cars running consistently in the top 10 and having strong results, which is making such a difference. And yeah, hopefully the same in Iowa. There's no reason as to why not.
Well, congratulations. Get the rest. It's late in your neck of the woods. And then on top of that, 250 laps here at Milwaukee. You got to be tired. Get some rest. We'll catch you in a week when we get to even to the shorter track at Iowa. But until then, congrats, man.
Thanks, guys.
Let's bring up Jesper now. A double duty win this weekend. Yesterday in the Iconic Series. Today, just a complete stomping. I'm getting ready to watch wrestling after this. So as Jim Ross likes to say, Jesper Orman stomped a mud hole in everybody in this race. It was not even really close. He almost got the Grand Slam, which is very hard to do on an oval, but got the purple lap, got the win, got the pole, and led the most laps. Talk about your day. I mean, was it a challenge for you at all?
It was a good day. I mean, I feel like a man on a mission this weekend. So I was really focused, and I don't know how many times I had to win that race, but I enjoyed it. Milwaukee is, as I said yesterday, top 5 track for me. I tried to play it safe with the strategy. I didn't try to mix it up anything. I was just constantly trying to hit the apex and constantly, working that throttle. And yeah, it was a fun race. I like traffic. It feels like old school IndyCar, which I'm really a big fan of. So yeah, a good day for me.
Go ahead, Clindy.
What'd you find in the tools, Jesper? You were so much faster than everyone, and you were spinning out by yourself off the exit of 2 and smacking the wall out of 4. What'd you do to the tools behind the car to get it go that fast, huh?
Oh man, you saw that spin off of 2? I hope you
Oh yeah,
watched
we
it.
did.
Yeah. I mean, I was just running 6-1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. I like the car, steady and nice on entry. So it's all about hitting the lines and making sure that you can get as soon as possible on the throttle, and just don't be afraid of the wall. The wall is coming up, but you just got to trust the car. You just got to trust that the car has the rotation that you need and everything. So, I mean, yeah. And to be honest, I've put in a lot of laps here this week. So yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to what's coming next.
Let's see. Already this
It'll be
weekend.
Iowa.
Well, hold on. Already this weekend in official races here, just in VOR, 425 laps for you this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good amount of laps. But I mean, I can drive 200 more. I love the track.
Go ahead, Clint. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, nothing. I was just saying next week, it was a little bit shorter, a little more banking, and probably even more laps due to the smaller distance. So get your rest, and, while you're here and we have the microphone in your face, you could shout out any friends, family, or sponsors you have before we let you go.
I just want to shout out to Julian today. He was unlucky. He did not deserve to get taken out like that. He's running this league with an iron fist, but it's really not an iron fist. I really like how clear and everything he is about everything. And I mean, as Murph said last week, if there was any funny business going on in this series, he would for sure get the guy out of the league. So I'm just really glad to be around these racers, and everyone is respectful and yeah, it's all good. I really enjoy the series. Not something that you can say for other drivers in this community.
I always like to say that he rules with an iron fist, but he also rules from the heart. And yeah, props to him. And we agree with you there that just the most unlucky. Well, congratulations on the win. Dominant day. Best of luck in round 3 for you for your Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin weekend here in the virtual sense this weekend. And we'll catch you at the next one when we go to Iowa. But best of luck in your next race when you race here on Sunday.
Right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. 250 miles here. It doesn't sound like a big distance when you compare it to 500 miles in Indianapolis and 300 miles that we do at some other tracks. 250 miles here at Milwaukee certainly is a marathon, and the winner of that marathon today, there was no doubt in the way that this thing panned out that it was going to be Jesper Orman from the start. Unless something happened to him, this was Jesper's race to lose. And as you saw in the graphics, dominated with the fastest lap, was the winner, won the pole, led the most laps. I mean, he did everything but the Grand Slam here, Clindy, and a dominant day, and it moves him into, third place now into the standings, fourth place. He's tied for third with Silvazzi with 91 points. So a chance to repeat for the championship and become a 3-time champion here in VOR is a real thing now, very early in the season here after 3 rounds here in season 13.
Yeah, and winning a couple of iconic races back-to-back, he might look to double dip and fight Liam O'Sullivan and Giulio Latetta on Fridays and Saturdays. I'm not sure what Jesper's schedule looks like, but if he keeps going worst to first on Friday and first to first on Saturday, he's going to have both of them in the bag.
Next up is Iowa in a couple weeks for these guys. How does it change going from Milwaukee to Iowa? I mean, we're actually going from a bigger track to a smaller track. We don't see that very often in terms of a 1 mile oval to a smaller
especially
than 1
when
mile oval.
the bigger track is 1 mile,
Yeah,
right? How many
right.
tracks are smaller than 1 mile in the IndyCar universe? Not many.
Well, that's what these drivers get to look forward to. Any closing thoughts from you, Clindy, before we get on out of here?
I'm just glad that the mid-pack was a hornet's nest like we expected it to be. And despite that, we saw most of our 250 laps today were green, which was great to see. And we didn't have any of the race control drama we had yesterday. So, the drivers learned, and the ones that participated in both, learned and applied, which is always great to see when you have that sort of community rallying around, as Jesper said, the iron fist of Julian. But it's from the heart.
From the heart, for sure.
Glad to see everybody's all on the same page and racing with their hearts all out there, man. I mean, we saw a lot of bold moves today, a lot of interesting and exciting racing, and I think we're going to be in for more of the same at Iowa.
Well, there is the remaining schedule for Season 13 of the IndyCar Championship. We go to Iowa next, then Montreal, Indianapolis, Nashville, Long Beach, Homestead, and Auto Club. And while we are here next week, we will be at Iowa for the first of back-to-back weekend Iowa races. First with the Iconic Series next weekend, then on the Legacy Kentucky, Indianapolis, Kansas, proper Phoenix, Auto Club, Homestead, and Chicagoland to wrap up the Iconic Series. Season 5, those are the 2 championships here. That's the remaining schedule. Well, we're going to get on out of here, give everyone back their Saturdays. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium for the Milwaukee 250 by LOVERN'S, Inc. from the Milwaukee Mile. Your winner today, Jesper Orman, with a dominant win. Mudhole stomping here, as I like to say. Liam O'Sullivan second. Carl Stout with his first podium comes home third. Join us again in 2 weeks as the IndyCar Championship will return on Valentine weekend, as the teams and drivers get special permission by their loved ones to race at Iowa. Coverage, as always, will be started approximately 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, that's 3:00 p.m. Eastern time. And remember, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything here at YouTube at youtube.com and just search Velocity Online Racing, and you'll find everything you need. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help us support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. Remember, we're really, really close to 500. Click subscribe. We would appreciate it. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more of Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including action next week from the Iconic Series at Iowa. 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it. Today's Milwaukee 250 is brought to you by LOVERN'S Incorporated. LOVERN'S provides professional services in renovation and remodeling, painting, and mold removal for government, commercial, and residential projects. For the quote or to learn more, like them on Facebook or visit our webpage at lover'n'sinc.com today. The links are in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Instagram and X. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about Velocity Online Racing, visit velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook or follow them on X. Again, all the links you need are in the description. So for Clindy, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying to all, happy Saturday, and thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here Valentine's weekend, February 15th in Iowa for the next race of the VOR IndyCar Championship. We'll see you then.